3, 2, and 1.
Hey, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to LL&R Living Room. I'm Anthony Jones.
I'm Jackie Jones.
And here we are, man, back at another video. We excited. Just a little fun topic for the married couples, engaged couples, all that good stuff, you know. So, hey, but this is what we need you to do.
Yes.
We need you to like, subscribe, comment, share,
Yes.
and then share again if you can. So we can just kind of get this information out there. You know, we trying to get on Oprah or something. You know what I mean? Nah, just joking. But Tyler Perry, hook us up, man. But but we just trying to, you know, help other people, help other marriages, and you know, just to kind of get everybody thinking, as well as us. You know what I'm saying? So so here we go.
This week's topic, as promised.
This week's topic, as promised. Could you be in a relationship, a marriage, if the romance, the sex, intimacy was trash? So, could you or could you not? Let's find out.
Yo, you asking me first?
Yeah, go ahead. What's your thought process on that, ma'am?
I think I could tolerate it for a while.
What's a while?
A year?
So you just want to be with somebody for a year?
No, I don't want to just be with somebody for a year. I'm saying I could tolerate it, and then I'll probably be like, I can't, and then I'll be like, I have to say something about it.
So,
because then I think I would be waiting for the person to improve, or maybe that would be my downfall because I'm never saying anything. So it would be my downfall because I never said anything. Like, you're trash.
Well, there's this perception out there that women fake it a lot. So
Perception?
Yeah, there's a perception.
A truth? That
So
women fake it?
So what you saying? You be faking?
No, not with you.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying.
But has it happened before? Most definitely.
What?
Not with you.
Oh, girl.
Not with you, but I'm saying, have I done it before? Yes, I have done it before. Okay, maybe with you.
What you mean, baby?
I'm saying
every
moment's not 110%.
Don't be doing no fake stuff for me.
Babe, I'm saying I would never say I got to this, I climaxed, right? And I didn't. I wouldn't lie, but would I say it just wasn't perfect? It just wasn't
Okay, but I'm saying that again, I said there's a perception that women be like, oh, you know.
In that moment, I probably was, but then I was probably thinking but you can't say that I haven't been 110% every time.
Yes, you have.
So, but that's what I'm saying for a time frame. Let's say if I was whack for a whole year, that's different, right? So I'm saying a year. I think now that I think about it, I would have to say something before the year.
Yeah.
I think you think about people's feelings.
Yeah, you have to take that in consideration. However, again, communication is where even in the midst of that, communication is still important. So if you're not being able to communicate or relay that information to the male, then of course he don't think he's doing a bang up job.
I know, but communication, sex communication is a totally different communication than just a regular conversation. And because it involves people's feelings, because I think it involves people's egos. And so you worried about damaging the male ego by saying that this wasn't perfect this time. And so then I think if I tell you that, if I tell you that, then you would strive to be better, but then it might make it worse. I'm just telling you, at this time, this ain't what, you ain't 100% this time. But then the next time you would come in and you would come in harder, I'm about to get it in this time. And then I'm like, yeah, that was whack because I could tell you was doing too much.
No, man. Y'all use y'all famous words. It's okay.
But
But
because it do be okay because I wanted to have sex. So it's okay, but not for an extended amount of time. Like if it's whack for an extension, Like, okay, we got to do something different. Like, what's wrong?
Are you talking about the way they make love, the size of their anatomy? Are you what are you?
What they say is not the size of the boat, the motion in the ocean or something like that.
Something like that.
So I don't think all the time it's even the size, because the size can be too big and it's not all that.
Right.
So it ain't size, it's just like the whole act. Like if it's not, sometimes it might have to be a build up to get to like you know how you do, like you might hit me on my butt during the day, like, and tell me what we gonna do later on in the day, like that build up. Yeah. And so when we get there, it's like we ready, right?
Right.
But then there might be times where it's like no build up, and it can still be exciting. It might just be like bam,
yeah,
and it's great. But then it might be a time where it's like no talking, no conversation, and then we're just doing it to be doing it. Like, that's whack, right? But what if you had that all the time where you just doing it to be doing it? I would think that's whack. But it could be good doing it to be doing it, I guess.
But the thing is, for me though, and I could be wrong, okay, but that's the part of and I know I'm going to this subject, but that's the part of communication to me.
It is a part
because of I think that in itself is a love language.
It is a love language.
You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where you just have to communicate
early.
I would say throughout. Like
every time is what you're saying. Like every time.
I wouldn't say every time, but I would say if you're feeling, even let's just say look at month 3, and you're feeling like, okay, I like the sex is whack, right, and you're not explaining or expressing the love language to him, like, hey, somehow our chemistry or our what word am I looking for?
Just use chemistry.
Our chemistry, or it's just not working, or it's just not matching up, or you're not giving me any build up, so you're just getting what you need and you're done. Right. That could be making it whack. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's a love language of communication.
But how does the male take that? If I came to you, let's say early in our marriage, right, and mm-hmm. would have said like, you know what, babe, it's been hard for me to say this, but the last 3 months, like our sex has been trash, not good, like we not bond. There's no bond in between it. I feel like you're just doing it to be doing it, and I'm not getting anything out of it. How would that make you feel? Because I'd say I would come to you and would be apprehensive about even bringing up the subject, because I'm worried about your ego and your feelings. And then you would come back to me and you would likely say, well, so you've been faking all this time? And then if I say yeah, then you and your feelings.
But
I was doing it to protect your feelings.
But if you're asking me, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, so if you know me personally, I would be like, all right, babe, like what is it that I need to do? But I'm trying to, I agree. There is when it comes to sex, there is a male ego thing. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that, you know, we definitely try to be macho.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We like, you know, we about to tear this up, or, you know, and it can be over before it start. And you be like, God dang. You know what I'm saying? So ego and stuff definitely plays a part in it. But me personally, I would be like, okay, what do I need to do, or what can I do better next time? You know, because sometimes it's incubator, and sometimes you just can't help it.
So you're talking about ending it before you want it to end.
Yeah.
Right? So you end it before you end. That's fine. But we're talking about like it being trash for a lengthy amount of time, and can you live with that? So let's say,
me personally, I wouldn't be able to live with that. I would have to find some kind of way to make sure, even if we had to add some friends, not like people,
right,
but like
equipment, right?
You know, to help out in the situation until you be like, okay, when I do this, I like the way you do that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I would definitely be like, okay, what is it that I need to do? You know, and I'm not the typical guy that'll be mad or ticked off.
I know you, but I was
just thinking about the male.
Yeah, the male period, how broad it can be. Because I think men don't think about like women. We have like a lot of distractions in our mind, right? Yeah. So not only I went to work today, then I came home, I got to cook dinner, I got to deal with the kids. For the most part, in general, we got to take care of the kids, we got to do all this stuff, and then at the end of the day, still got to realize that we still got to make sure we make love with our husband, and then go to sleep and do it again. Yeah. Like there's no like break in that. So even when sometimes when we have sex, you're still thinking about freaking the day. And so then you have to figure out how to disconnect from the day and what you got to do tomorrow to be physically present with you in the moment. And if I can't just disconnect from that during the day, then the sex is going to be whack. You might not notice it, but I know it. And then I wouldn't even know how to express it, that it's not pleasurable because I can't even separate from my day.
But that's the man's job, and that's the love language, the touch, the feel, the smacking on the rear end, the buttocks,
or helping around the house is what I'm saying. Like help me do less.
So you can focus on the aspect.
Yeah, so I don't have nothing to worry about when it comes to that. Like I don't have anything else on my mind because I don't have to worry about folding the clothes. Because babe, like you do, wash all the clothes. And so all I gotta do is cook dinner, whatever. But if you decided on a day, like, babe, you don't have to cook, and I did homework with the kids already, you just chill, and I'm free and I ain't got nothing to worry about, then when we meet in the laundry room, in the bedroom, wherever we meet, like, you have my full attention, you know what I'm saying, and my full body. And then I'm able to acquire a good moment, and you're able to acquire a good moment talking in code, you know? Yeah. So I think that because that can be a part where for an extended amount of time, you're not enjoying sex because you can't even focus on it.
Right. So basically, mentally, you just feel like the male needs to take a load off of you and help out around honey-do list type stuff. You know, honey, do this, do that, but not necessarily you telling me to do it. I just need you to do it, and it makes it even more attractive when you do X, Y, Z.
When you did that, and then I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with it. More it's attractive.
Yeah.
Like, man, you cleaned the house. Like, I come home and the house is clean. Like, what? You cleaned the house, boy?
Right.
And so now I ain't got nothing to worry about, so I'm free.
Notes. No, I swear. I do that already.
Yeah, he do that already. But so I'm free, and so I'm free then.
So free.
Yeah, so then I'm real free. You ain't got nothing to worry about.
Right.
Like erase everything off of her mind, and so all she got to focus on is you.
Okay.
And so that'll prevent it from being long-lasting whackness.
Yeah. So let me ask you this.
Okay.
Coming from a female's perspective, do you need to go for hours? Do you need an hour? Do you need 45 minutes? Do you need 30? Do you need 15? Do you need 10?
What? That's an hour?
Of sex, yeah.
No, I don't know. An hour?
I'm just asking.
No. I mean, no. No hour. That's a long time. I mean,
we've done it before, but I'm just saying.
But it's breaks in between. You know what I'm saying? It's breaks in between, but not no straight full hour.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah, that's too much. But I wouldn't. So you asking the how much time do I need to feel satisfied? To be satisfied? Yeah. Well, sometimes there can be short time frames, and it can be the best ever.
Yes.
So I don't think time freaking matters.
Okay.
But I think you worry about time. And I'll be like, no, yeah, and I'll be like, no, that was good.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes I would like it short, like especially when it be late at night. I'll be like, I'm just so sleepy. Like, I want to do it, but I'm just so sleepy. Like, you can wake me up, and I will activate me. And then we'll do it.
You was crazy.
But I'll be tired when we start.
Right.
What we call that? We call that exhausted D.
Yeah.
You don't give me that exhausted D.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it, and then we just go
to sleep.
Yeah. I want it too, and I take it as exhausted. But don't get me exhausted all the time.
No.
Right? Because that's the whack.
Yes.
So then we admit that there's whack moments, like when you're sleepy.
Okay, I agree.
Okay, so yeah, so that means we agree. So we got the term for it.
You know what? Yeah,
like,
that's true.
Like we say, like I'm gonna give you that ED, that exhausted D. Okay, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
But we both sleepy. I'm gonna give you this EP.
Yeah.
So
You was crazy, dude. This is different for me, right? I see it on videos. I see it, you know. Not that I'm not ashamed of anything that I have. However, it's just there's a stigma out there that everybody need 10 to 9, 12, 13, 14 inches of this, and you know, I think a lot of times that's where a lot of ladies set themselves up and
searching for the big D.
Yeah, but they get so caught up in that, and then they miss out on.
You get a trash dude. He got a big D, but he trash. Let's be real.
Right. No deal.
But because he done depended. Go back down. Oh, I thought you was Elijah. I don't know why I seen a little baby. But yeah. But they like, girl, he got a big D, but he's trash. He might not work. He can't keep no job or nothing. But he know he can D you down.
Yeah.
And so that's how he.
And you take it.
Disrespectful in our video. You see this? Last week and this
week.
Hey man. Our kids just don't respect our time.
Let me tell you something. Hey. He about to be gone, so he ain't worried.
He moving out. Ooh, how many days? 14 days.
14 more. Hey, get out our video. We love you, son. But anyway.
But he can hear this content. He kind of up in age.
Yeah. But and I'm not saying that it happens all the time, but I knew of people and females and even dudes, you know, that relied on that. You know what I'm saying? That relied on
they man meat.
Yeah.
As
being
right.
The reason why I'm doing XYZ, or the reason why I'm able to, you know, control this female, or, you know.
But that let's call it like that good D, like she's attracted to that good D. Like I used to call it digmatized. Okay? So you be digmatized off of that, and so you accept the good D, and you tend to forget about all the other stuff, which is trash. And so even though he got good D, like you,
why you just
still
say good sex?
Well, good sex. Even though he got good sex, well, it might not be good because he might just be able to D you down, but he don't give you all of the other stuff.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Because he don't know how to do all that other stuff. He know how to D you down, but he don't know how to give you everything else because I have experienced the two. You know what I'm saying? And so what we have is bomb all the way around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's two different things. So I would consider that now, thinking about it, as whack sex.
Right.
For an extended freaking amount of time.
Right. I got you.
And so I should have said something.
But that's the thing too, though. That's what I'm saying. All that stuff comes together. Like being whack as a person, being whack in the bed, no matter size. Because if you got this size but ain't fulfilling nothing else, then it's trash.
Right? So it makes the whole thing trash.
Right. Okay.
Dang, I didn't even think about it going that far, but it makes the whole thing freaking trash. Yeah. Let's see.
I think what we have is euphoric. Like it's.
I think ours has grown and matured over time. Like the last few years, it has been the best throughout the whole marriage.
Right.
Because I think just over time, since we've been doing the videos and prior to, you know what I'm saying, we just been communicating more and everything.
So you saying I've been whacked this whole time?
Baby, no.
See y'all hear what she said?
I'm not saying you have been whacked. I'm just saying our connection has been even better
Yeah.
And our communication has been
Yeah.
even better. That we're just
because there's no
open.
there's no stress. There's no worrying about this, no worrying about that. It's just like let's go.
Right. And we know each other more.
This dude is off the chain. Stand up, son. Come here. Introduce yourself. This is our big baby. He's slipping and sliding out the house. It's our son Dorian, man. We gonna miss him when he move out. I ain't gonna cry the first day.
We probably gonna try to spend the night over his house.
Yeah, we spending the night. We gonna make a pallet right there on the floor.
And then I'm gonna leave all types of trash and stuff when I leave all over his house. Yes,
but
I
hey,
am.
so but anyway, so yeah, man, it's I think all that stuff that you mentioned about how our stuff has improved and all that, I 110% agree. Like it's been like ridiculously amazing. Like yeah,
like you said today, like I can see how a person go crazy.
Yeah man. I see why dudes be going cuckoo over the woman's anatomy parts. I absolutely can see how that happens.
Well, I can see how a chick can go crazy over the male anatomy part because I would.
Yeah.
I would go crazy. Like what you not about to do is take away this.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I agree. Cause I used to kind of be nonchalant about it though. I used to kind of be like, man, whatever, do what you do. I don't care. Go ahead. I'll go give me one too. I'll go give me. But then I thought about it today. I was like, dang, because she put it on me earlier, y'all. I ain't gonna be live. But I was just kind of like, yo.
I can see how that.
Yeah. And I can see why now, like, when females go off, scratch up a dude car, or flatten their tires or bust their window. Like, I get it. And I get why dudes be stalking. Like, man, you gonna leave me? You gonna leave me? I get it now. I get it.
But you gotta have that.
It took me 11 years, but not a slave.
But it takes that connection.
It does.
It sometimes, I don't know. Everybody's
different. Yeah.
But in our situation, it takes like that connection and growth and maturity and open conversation and things like that to get to this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad like we are able to talk, we're friends, we're able to let each other down. Is it down? Like let each other down, I guess. And you be able to take it and be able to be like, so what can I do to improve? So even if I told you like it was whack, like it might have had you like, oh, and then you'd be like, well, what can I do better? Like, you know, like
right.
When I do
Right.
No, I want you to go think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but that wouldn't.
But that's up to the other person, to me, to be able to accept that and hear it, and then because for you to get mad, like, dude, no, this is your stuff. You the one being whacked. Like, you need to take in what she's saying, or him or her,
right.
And make adjustments and be like, okay, now we're on to something. But I think that's where, that's where the other romantic parts and pieces come in. Every male doesn't do foreplay, and I know it's a lot of women that be like, boy, I stay ready. You may stay, cream pie down there, but
I hope it ain't looking like cream pie.
I didn't say oatmeal. Dang, girl, you messing up. But I think definitely foreplay, unless you just definitely just trying to go, quick.
Unless it's your intent to be quick.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But like if a dude ain't giving like foreplay, sometimes like it has to be something to make it entertaining.
Yeah.
Right? Or it'll be whack. Like we're gonna do the same thing every time.
Yeah.
You're good at switching it up.
I try.
You're good at switching it up, which is great. Which is great for me because I like when you switch it up. Like,
right.
oh, okay, we're gonna be where in the kitchen.
Right.
So,
But again, especially for married couples, I think it is definitely important to spice it up. I think it's definitely important to do different things because again, there's this stigma out there or this thing like people have to add other people into their. I'm not knocking whoever do it. That's just not my preference. However, people feel like they need to add that other person into their relationship or their marriage or whatever, and
And what if it was just the communication was off between us? Like, what if it was just like you want to add somebody else in because you don't know how to communicate that I'm not doing it for you, but just talk to me and tell me what you missing, and we can do that. You might ask me to do something, and I'll be like, ooh, that's a red light. I don't know, but you might ask me something, and I'll be like, oh, that's a yellow light. I'm like, try that. Right. Within these means, you know what I'm saying? Right. But if you can't even communicate to me, you either gonna cheat or you're gonna want to bring somebody else in, but then you're still not gonna be happy, and so you're not gonna be happy with me. Yep. And then we just gonna have a problem. Yep. That's a big problem. Yeah. So communication is the big issue.
I tried to tell you in the beginning.
I know.
These women don't listen all the time. We be right, fellas, don't we? We be right. This one? Come on, man.
In the last video, I said 10% of the time, and 5% I'll be wrong, and the other 5% I'll be trying to
justify why she's wrong.
Right. No, trying to prove why I was right.
Trying to justify why you was wrong, ma'am. You were wrong.
So let's let one other topic, and I think we'll leave. So what if it was a situation where you couldn't perform at all, because that's real life stuff? So then, what would we do for each other to be able to still be satisfied? Because there has to be other ways, other things.
Yeah, I look at I look at it at other means, and I look at it as what is your mental aspect of our relationship?
Right, outside of sex.
Outside of sex, yes.
Mm-hmm.
What?
You gotta have something else.
Because for me, like I told you in the beginning, like you have been the easiest female that I could talk to outside of a couple of people, like sisters or stuff like that. But I'm speaking in the aspect of this, like you've been so easy to talk to at times, especially when it comes to certain things. So it's just kind of like, man, if you don't have that moment where I can come and talk to you and you're giving me feedback whether I like it or not at the moment, if you don't have that, then your relationship is based upon a physical thing.
Right, a physical thing.
Like I can see us if, later down the road, if it happens to where the anatomy part doesn't work and, some Viagra may not be around at that time, I can see us sitting on the porch looking at the newspaper, sipping some coffee or some tea and just
still
talking.
Enjoying each
Still
other.
enjoying each other.
Still enjoy each
because
other.
I think we established that early on though. I think we established like we have so many different things in common where we can go fishing and sit on the bank and really enjoy ourselves and spark up good moments and do XYZ or go camping or go on a bike ride, go on a walk on the trail, just all these different things that really continue to draw us closer and bond us together. I just remember, and I know I'm maybe rambling or whatever, but I remember in the beginning, I would say year 2, 3, when we were, I believe, just kind of coming out of financial issues, maybe year 4, coming out of some financial issues, like we was going fishing pretty much every evening when we got off of work. And it was so beautiful. It was so serene. We would sit out there, fish. We'll catch some little fish and listen to some jazz or listen to some slow music or something and just enjoy each other and fish. That's what we did. Yep. And it wasn't, and sometimes we came home, we showered, we didn't have sex, we just laid in the bed and was like, man, I really enjoyed you. Yeah. I really enjoyed your company. Yeah. So when you base, I just believe when you base everything off something physical,
you're in a bad place. Then
you're in a bad spot. You know what I'm saying? You rely on the physical, excuse me, to make the relationship or friendship or whatever you have work. you know, and
then once that's gone, then we need to break up because we don't have nothing.
And you can be ruined. You can ruin possibly 10, 15, 20 years, 25 years of marriage or whatever because of the physical aspect of a relationship is gone.
Right.
And
if you don't learn from that, then you'll still be searching that physical thing
in the next partner,
the next relationship.
And then when that don't work,
fails, and then you be wondering like, well, dang. And some people probably won't ever get it.
Right.
Like I was the problem.
Right.
Like that's the problem because I'm just worried about this physical part. I'm not worried about all the other connections and benefits of this partner to make us succeed.
But then too,
or successful.
Yeah. But then too, when the physical aspect is gone. And when people, I mean, male or female, when they find themselves alone, they like, man, why I can't get a man or why I can't get a woman? Because everything is based on physical. Now, I'm not talking about everybody, and I'm not talking about each female or male, but there are people that just kind of like, I need the physical. And then again, when you go to the physical, then it's like, well, why can't I get a man or why can't I get a woman?
Or why can't I keep one?
Because
beyond sex, then you're trash.
That's it.
Right.
So.
But I feel like if we go through that time and like we can't do anything physical, I think you should also try to learn your partner's body. You don't have all of this flesh, and you telling me like not one part on your body brings you some type of seduction. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't have to use your private to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I can use other parts of your body and we can still accomplish these goals without that. So it's possible, I believe. You would just have to switch your mindset.
That's true. Listen, this is one of
like
the
intimacy instead of
and that's what I was gonna say. That has to be one of the main cores of one of my favorite words, and it's the foundation. What foundation did you lay? We laid the foundation of talking and hanging out and doing this and learning each other, and then the physical part came too. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, you know, the intimacy comes in, and that's where the role play comes in, and, you know, just all these different things. But again, I think with everything, with the relationship, there has to be a foundation laid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
you're right, because if we lay the foundation of the first thing we did when we first met each other, the first thing we did was have sex.
Yeah.
Right? So I know she can have sex.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then what happens when the sex is like, you don't have sex with me anymore. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So then it's a complaint. But dang, did you even get to know me?
Right.
Well, that was the foundation that y'all laid was off of sex.
Right. Just like now, I see, and this is no disrespect to nobody. It's not like, that's why I don't be on social media that much anymore. Because as soon as you open up social media, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, it's somebody showing off something and it's promoting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, because there are some ladies out there that are promoting, and they can cook, they can clean, they can do XYZ, but there are some that just promoting to be able to just sit back and cash some money somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a totally different story. but it definitely has to be a foundation laid with everything and every aspect of the relationship, marriage, courtship. You know, because I believe when you courting, you have to have some kind of foundation. That's the point of courting, to be like, man, can I see myself with this man or this woman for X amount of years? Because if not, I remember I was Bishop Vaughn. He told me a long time ago. He was like, hey, you're at the point where you're dating. You know, it could get serious. If you ain't trying to marry the girl, get out of her face. You know what I'm saying? Like it to a point where don't waste her time. Don't waste your time. Just get out of her face. I know it may be fun, physical, whatever. He's like, if you're not trying to marry her, get out of her face. And I think a lot of times that's where a lot of stuff just kind of fall by the wayside. I know we on a totally different.
I was like,
but anyway, I digress.
But anyways, the foundation builds your long-term goals. Even if, outside of the foundation, whatever.
Yeah.
The long-term goal of how we're going to end up. Because if we started off our relationship with communication and we end up we having sex and our sex has to end because of some unknown illness, injuries, whatever, we still had a foundation built upon communication and love and affection and touch and all this stuff. So when that goes, like it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I'm gonna cry, but I would still love you, and we could still cuddle in the bed, and I would laying underneath you and all that stuff. Like that's great, and it's affectionate, and all the little things that you still do in between.
But do you know that for me, it's important to touch you every now and again. It's important for me when you walk past me to, give you a little grab. It's important for me to do certain things to make sure that, those things those things just kind of go about, I just got distracted. These kids.